This is my first time playing host up here. You'll find yourself chuckling at my cock-ups as we proceed through the evening. I've seen this, I've had the opportunity to see this show many times. Everything is here. We have the 8-ball, we have the fernet. One thing we do not have
oh no.
is the questions. Hello? Is there anybody in the audience? Please. Oh, shit. Ladies and gentlemen.
You can still use it.
Thank you. Thank you. We now have one question. Okay. Why am I here? This is a very good question. Oh, uh-oh. The first interruption of the evening. Well, I'm sorry about that unscheduled interruption, ladies and gentlemen. I really shouldn't be up here. I'm not. This is not my place. I should be down there where you are. I've had the pleasure of watching the Dr. Hal show for several years now, from beginning at of course, the famous Odeon Bar, 12 Galaxies, Chez Poulet, let's see, the Acoustic Six, the Blue, whatever that place was, and most recently the J.R. Bob Dobbs, or Dob Bob's, memorial space, from which we were so unceremoniously ejected by the ABC alcohol, whatever they call themselves, who had designed, their mission in life seems to be to quench any fun in San Francisco. So when I was invited to play host for the Dr. Hal show, I realized, of course, what an incredible honor it is. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and after a moment's hesitation, I accepted. When I received from Dr. Hal a 3-page letter detailing the proceedings of the show, of course I was scared shitless. But nevertheless, I am here this evening and happy to be with you and delighted to present the show. This show is going to go like clockwork, as has every Dr. Hal show since time began. So I'm going to waste no time now, and I'm going to introduce the man to whom the void is no stranger. Ladies and gentlemen, Pete Goldie. Sufficient introduction for you, Pete?
Quiet. Shut up, Jeffrey.
Mr. Goldie's mean.
I wanted to say something right away. This is, in fact, Conversations with Dr. Hal.
3.0.
Yeah. I said shut up. ADHS version 3.0. There.
That's ADD, I believe.
And can you please be quiet? And it's really my job during these guest host situations. I'm the first one that the guest host has to sit with, and I've liked all of them until now. It's been okay. They've been really, they've been my friends. They were my friends before the show. They did great jobs during the show, and they remain my friends after the show. Unlike Jeffrey, who is not my friend, and will never be my friend, because, well, you see, he's English, and I'm an American, and some things we just don't forget about, you know.
Doing good.
And enunciate. Try that crisp accent of yours. You know, the women just melt when they hear that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, listen to that.
Jeez, Pete.
Okay, no more Mr. Nice Guy. Let's work through this. We're already in the slide 2. I wanted to point out what you already didn't see there is this is a super special space science report.
Whoa.
Because yesterday, August 11th, 2009, was the equinox of Saturn. Saturn's equinox finally happened.
Yay, Saturn!
Thank you. Let me point out what happens. Now, as you know, Saturn is a big, sort of round, not really round ball, and it has rings, right? Rings?
Like this.
Right. And
Those are wings.
if Jeffrey was the sun and I was Saturn, you would see that in certain positions around, you know, the ring is at a different angle at different parts of the orbit. If I was to run around Jeffrey, the bright sun there, well, at a certain point, the angle of the sun hits the rings edge on, and that's the equinox, just like on our Earth. And then the rings got bigger, and now the rings have disappeared. The rings are totally gone yesterday. If you were to look at Saturn yesterday, you know what you would see? What would you see, Jeffrey?
A great big ball.
You would go blind.
Yay!
Okay.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
Okay. What you see here, as the equinox approached, a shadow of a moon, and this happens to be the moon, Epimetheus, cast a shadow and gave an indication of what was to come. And there you see, as the sun angle to the ring became smaller and smaller, you started to see, and again, another moon popping up there. This moon you see popping up is Nemus.
Pete, what's
These-
that?
Hi, Nemus.
What's that up there?
I'm Nemus. I'm a
That's a white dot. You have a pile of little moonlets are piling up, and the tiny little moonlets are piling up. Now these tiny little moonlets they're casting rather long shadows. Remember, the rings span about 100,000 kilometers. So even a small little shadow like this is hundreds of kilometers. How big would something be to cast a shadow? They can actually calculate the size of things quite accurately by that. There, and again, the shadow of Mimas is extending elegantly across both the outer F ring and the inner A ring. This is called the Keeler gap. That's the inky gap. Here's the very tenuous F ring. Now this looks. How could this be? How could you have a shadow where you have light and dark spots? A shadow usually is all black. Anyone want to answer the question, Jeffrey?
I've got an LP that looks like that.
Okay.
Vinyl? Do you remember vinyl?
I was talking about something totally different than that. But that's all right.
LSD.
Entirely incorrect. So what this is also telling us is the density of the material in the ring. Nice stuff, eh? Right.
There's more excitement to come, you're telling us.
Every time he opens his mouth. It's amazing. Next one, Jim. Next one.
I can't wait to see the next one.
Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Because now the moons zip around the orbit around Saturn fairly quick. Some of those orbit less than a day. So as the spacecraft is moving, it's encountering the shadow at different spots there. In the Keeler gap is a tiny moon, which is called, and that tiny moon you can see right there, and it actually clears out the gap. That's why you have a gap there.
Where's Sailor Moon?
It's got a diameter. It actually has enough gravity for that small rock to move the ring particles up and down. And the ring particles have the mass of smoke or ice cubes. Comment, Jeffrey?
I'm just delighted to hear there are ice cubes in space.
Comment, Jeffrey.
Okay.
Yeah. Hit a Fernet.
Would you like some Fernet?
Are you kidding? Drink this stuff?
No, it's also called coffin varnish, I believe, the Fernet. It has enough gravity to cause a wake there and perturb up and down in the ring plane.
Is anyone in the audience awake?
Next image, please.
Okay, good, thank you.
What's going on?
Again, another image. As you get closer, you can see. Is there a question?
Yeah. What's going on in the wake? Why are there light and dark spots?
Yeah. I think they handed vibrators out when people came in.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I must ask that in the interest of civility and so on.
It's your voice. It's your accent.
There is no shouting out. If you have comments, kindly write them on a postcard and send them to Dr. Hal Show. We should receive them in about 3 weeks.
Yay.
Yes. Or form it in the form of a question with a small donation. There. Again, Daphnis, right there, you can see the shadow. Yeah, the same thing. Next, I think I have about 8 more shots of this.
Oh,
Jim, let's see another one again. Anyway, next image, please. I think also Daphnis again. Oh yes, and here it is. As you get close to the ring plane, now notice the shadow is in the outer part of the A ring as opposed to going the inner part again, because these moons circle around very quickly around that planet. And yes, that's a real effect there. That is that's called the zipper. Oh, I will never tire of pictures of Daphnis and the inky gap and the Keeler gap. Yes, they are really, really incredible. And oh, look at this. There's our little tiny moon. You can see somewhat about how it's elongated along the equatorial area. This is Atlas, yet another moon casting a shadow. This ring is always distorted by the shepherding moons that are going on both sides of this the moon in their atlas, and it is casting a shadow. It is also pulling a gravitational stream of material from the F ring toward it and casting a shadow at the same time. And now, this really got people interested because they saw a large spike. Yeah, another major moon cast against all the rings of Saturn as it approaches, and we're getting closer to the equinox. The next picture, Jim, is going to be the image of the rings on August 9th, 2009.
Oh yeah!
You see, the F ring is actually gathering a lot of sunlight because it is thicker than the inner rings. The next image is the next day, August 10th, 2009. Because the next image is my daughter, and she's out of here. Just like me, I'm out of here.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pete Goldie. Astrologer to the stars.